What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Hockeytown University. You are here with me, Zach, and the boys, my lovely co-hosts, Derek and Matt. What is going on, boys? How's everyone's weekend?
I mean, it's the weekend. Haven't done much. I can't lie. Been very lazy the last couple days, so I can't really complain though. Being lazy is probably one of my specialties, so not having to do stuff is a wonderful thing. Matt, how was your weekend, buddy?
Yeah, I guess my weekend wasn't too eventful. We did just have my dad come home yesterday, so that's fantastic. And he's kind of just biding his time with being on disability right now, and of course with the seizures and everything, he won't be driving for a while. So he's pretty much just gonna try and figure out what he's gonna do for the next indefinite amount of time while he's not working or doing anything. So, but the important thing is he's home, he's recovering. He'll have his surgery soon, and we'll go from there. So, yeah, we're definitely happy about that. And other than that, this weekend wasn't too crazy. Watched the Devils blow out the Canes today. That series is absolute dog water. I'm surprised that it's this bad. I really would have thought this would be a more competitive series, but it seems like no matter how the game goes, it's a blowout either way. And that's just disappointing. That's not really what we expect from the playoffs. So whoever wins this series, I kind of hope loses in the conference finals because I don't want to see this stuff in the Stanley Cup final. I'll tell you that much.
Well, really glad to hear that your dad's back, Leslie. Honestly, that's really good to hear. I'm definitely thinking about your dad a lot. So hopefully everything
Mm-hmm.
goes well. Just make sure you let Derek and I know if you ever need anything. So we'll be here for you, buddy.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, boys.
Yeah, 100%. And for myself, what did I do this weekend? I do this every time. And to be honest with you guys, by the time I think about it, I don't even know. The weekend just goes by so quickly. Yeah, just did the normal stuff, honestly. Did some cleaning, did the shopping, did the things with the dogs. Watched a lot of hockey too. So, speaking of the weekend, though, boys, I know that last episode we spoke about teams or teams, suitors buying potentially the Ottawa Senators. We talked about how Snoop Dogg and Double R Ryan Reynolds are in on the bids. The weekend is also in the bid for the Ottawa Senators. I
That was a
I
fun one
can't
to find
remember
out.
I can't remember who it was, if it was Derek or Leslie, but someone mentioned, maybe it was someone else I was talking to, but someone had mentioned, I hope this doesn't turn into a who's swinging around bigger than the other kind of competition. And with the weekend now getting involved, you have an actor, a rapper, and a pop star all trying to go in for a sports team. Is that what we're looking at here, or is it just it is what it is? These people have the money to now buy a sports team. Let them do it. It's an investment. Derek, go first.
I mean, I really don't know. I mean, I get the appeal of buying a sports team. Let me tell you, if I had the money to do it, I probably would be trying to buy the Ottawa Senators as well. Why not? But I mean, I can't lie, it's a good thing for hockey, I would say. It's a lot of publicity coming our way for like the entire sport itself. We have all these different people coming in, different backgrounds, different environments, different occupations. It's like I'm cool with it. It's dragging people along with them from all these different crowds. We'll see who wins, but I'm like I wonder who's going to come out on top on this one. Everyone has a bunch of money at this point, but what's going to win it? What does the organization want? I have no idea up in Ottawa.
Yeah, I guess it's not too surprising seeing like how all these big celebrities are trying to buy this team. I mean, you got to think about like Snoop Dogg. He's been on top of the world for like 30 years at this point, and The Weeknd is a little bit more of a new artist, but he's also one of the most popular artists in the entire, I guess, the entire world, really.
A new artist.
Hey, I wouldn't be too surprised if old pop star Drake doesn't throw his head into the ring at this point. I
Oh,
mean,
God.
who would have ever thought that like all these celebrities would be clamoring over each other to buy the Ottawa Senators? Definitely not me. I think it's cool though. It's definitely great for hockey to get all these celebrities involved. Yeah, it's really great, and I really feel like whoever is going to buy it will be a great ambassador to the sport and the Ottawa Senators in general.
best of luck to whoever gets the winning bet on Ottawa, and best of luck to its fans. I don't know who you guys would prefer more, the actor, the rapper, or the pop star. So at least you'd probably have some pretty cool concerts if you get one of the musicians. So let's go ahead and kick it off. Let's go ahead and start with some news on our end. We will be going live Monday, May 8th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's tomorrow for those of you watching this. It's currently probably Monday, so it will be today, later today. So if you guys can join us, that would be great. We will be doing that live on YouTube at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, like I said. So you will be getting to see our beautiful faces once again, probably 3 times this week. So that's pretty cool for you guys.
Lucky you guys.
So if you guys can join us, that would be lovely. Just make sure you're subscribed to us. Make sure that you're liking all those videos as well. So let's go ahead and kick it off. We got some Red Wings news, just a little bit, but also what we have in store for today is to do our pre-lottery mock draft with the boys. Derek was lucky enough to get the first overall pick. We don't know who holds that pick yet. We will be doing the lottery simulation with you guys so that you guys...
The Red Wings are going to have that pick. It's going to be the Red Wings, Zach. We do know. Because
Yeah.
You want to know why I know? Because we have devoted our entire lives to the Magic Conch. We have been loyal servants of its holy magic, and I think we're due at this point. We're due a miracle. It's only right. It's only fair. Just make it happen, Magic Conch. Don't just waste all our prayers for nothing, please.
Let's see how accurate we are with this little draft pick that we have today. Honestly, I want to save it, and when the actual draft comes around, let's match it up and see how we did, because, we could be fortune tellers when we're not betting on stuff here. So
that's one of the reasons why we're doing this, is just to see, how close can we actually get to how the real results show up when the actual draft happens. I believe it's early June. It's like June 5th or something like that. So yeah, I'll be picking second, whoever gets the second draft lottery win, and then Leslie will be going third. If the Red Wings do not win the draft lottery, Leslie will then have the Red Wings pick. So that's how we're going to be doing it. It's not going to be like a snake draft or anything. So it's all fair and even for everyone, all parties. The boys are free will to choose whoever they select, but clearly we're not going to go too far off the boards, as much as I want to give teams like the Canadiens,
You don't know that.
the smallest player that's supposed to be in like the 3rd round. That'd be cool with me. Derek, you're muted.
God dogs, can't help it. I don't think anyone wants to hear them.
I thought you were trying to say something, buddy, so it's all good.
I was talking a little shit there, but apparently no one heard it because I mute myself.
That's okay. We'll just read lips for this episode. We'll all go on mute and we'll just read lips. How about that?
I'll learn sign language in the next 5 seconds, but that won't help any of you that are listening to this. So
this will be the first podcast in history to do all sign language. We're gonna make history here.
So other than that, this is going to be a really short episode. We're not doing a draft profile for anyone. We might do one tomorrow, or we'll just save them for the next 2 episodes when we record on Wednesday and then next Sunday. So let's go ahead and talk about the game that's currently happening in the playoffs. The Devils smoked the Carolina Hurricanes. I believe that ended up being 8-2. They're doing it again. They did it to the Rangers, down 2-0. Now they're 2-1 with the Carolina Hurricanes. Hold on, let me talk about this one as well, Leslie. Currently, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers are going up against each other. It is currently 1-1. I did see the Toronto Maple Leafs goalie had to go off, and he went off the bench as well, and they had to put in their backup. I don't know why, but yeah, that's currently what the situation looks like. Leslie, you got something you wanted to add, buddy? Sorry.
I'm not so sure that I did. I just wanted to say, let's go Cats, meow meow bitches. Yeah, I want to cash my future bet, so please take care of the Maple Leafs and ride it all the way to the Cup.
You just had this look on your face, and you were so close to the mic. I was like, Leslie's itching to say something. But nice one. I like it. Yeah.
Well, you put me on the spot. I had to come up with something.
There you go.
And I think I did well.
Derek, what about you? You got anything? Just
I mean, where's this Carolina team been? It's been the most boring team to watch all year, winning by 1 or 2 goals, just playing off defense alone. And all of a sudden, this New Jersey series, they're just blowing them out of the water. What do they have, like 15 goals now in 2 games, 3 games? Like, it's amusing now to watch. I kind of wish New Jersey was playing up to their speed, but oh well. Like, everyone's a little upset that Jack Hughes lost his tooth. Everyone lost their pretty boy. It's okay. It happens. He eventually had to lose one, so everybody can calm down about it. I've seen way too many posts today about that. I'm like, I don't really care. He's supposed to lose those teeth. I have 3 fake ones, and I'm not even in the NHL. So
God,
he needs to lose some.
He really is good looking, isn't he?
Not anymore.
Even toothless. I don't know, man.
I think he looks like Marv from Home Alone.
Oh, man. Kind of does,
Man,
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, in terms of the Devils game, I think I don't know if Luke Hughes, Jack's brother, got to play in game 2, but yeah, he got to play game 3. I think he at least got an assist. Might have gotten more, but yeah, good to see he got in, and maybe that's the change that they needed. But then they also had Timo Meier coming back, who didn't play the first 2 games. So, like I said, maybe it's the same situation as the Rangers, where they're coming back from a 2-game deficit, and there you have it. They're up 3-2. Then you're stuck. So we'll just have to wait and see. But go Kitty Cats, like Leslie said. So without further ado, actually, I lied. Let's talk about some Red Wings news. So let's talk about Sebastian Cossa, where the Walleye just keep swimming to make it 5 wins in a row. At least that was the case on Saturday morning when they played Friday night. Cossa played. He adds another tally to his win column. He currently sports in the 3 games a record with 1.33 goals against average and a .938 save percentage. The Toledo Walleye won last night as well. So now they're on a 6-game heater. They have not lost in the playoffs yet in those 6 games. What does this mean for Cossa? And in general, what does this mean for the team of Toledo Walleye and the Red Wings organization, I guess, too? Leslie, you go first.
Well, I can answer first what this means for Sebastian Cossa. I can see his future right now. He's going to come on the Red Wings team next year. He's going to win the Calder Trophy, and he will backstop the Red Wings all the way to the Cup final. They'll lose it because he's a rookie goaltender, and that'll just get the best of him, but he will win the Vezina. So that's what's going to happen with Sebastian Cossa. As for the Toledo Walleye, they might just sweep their way to the Cup final and just steamroll everyone. Like, it's actually insane what they're doing. This isn't all just because of Costa, too. That team is absolutely loaded. I mean, you and I know, Zach, when we saw them about a month ago, like, they looked unstoppable. It's a type of team where they just rally together, and if they're having a bad game, which they really haven't had one bad game in these playoffs, they'll just kind of band together and say, you know what, I don't care how bad it looks, we're winning this game. And that's how they got this far. And that really has a lot to do with the leadership on that team and the coaching staff too. So hopefully, wherever they end up, and they're going to have a successful season either way, I would definitely like to see their coach considered for the Grand Rapids job. I think he definitely deserves it. He's proven that he can win. And I mean, he's the type of guy that we need over there in Grand Rapids to repeat the same success with our important young prospects over there.
Derek?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Leslie, I completely agree with you. That's a great point to make there, because right now with how Cosa's doing down there, and especially how the Walleyes are in general, they're going to be bringing some players up from that league up to the AHL with the Grand Rapids Griffins. Obviously, Cossa didn't do too great the couple of games he was up there. I think he had it might have been over 5 goals a game. But that doesn't really always have to just do with the goaltending. That could also be with who you're playing with. So can't really call that one out. But if you bring that coach up, you bring Cossa up, you bring maybe 2 or 3 more players that are doing really well down there up to the AHL, you have a full line, a full team. It works really well for you out there. So, I mean, I can't see him not coming up at that point in the league. Especially, I mean, I would bring up the coach as well, especially with how well they're winning right now. But I wish I knew a little bit more about that league. I don't watch them that much. Thank you. I just got brought food. But we'll ignore that part. But yeah, I honestly, I lost train of thought and I just got the food in front of me. I was like, oh.
What did you get? What did you get for dinner?
Looks like we got some steak, some noodles, and veggies.
Ooh, wow!
Yeah, this is.
Sounds a lot better than
What,
what I
what
had.
were we
I had
talking
Wendy's
about?
chicken nuggets.
Cossa.
Oh yeah, Cossa, Walleye. Yep, Walleye. I hope they do a clean sweep like Leslie said. That'd be awesome to see him at the very end, just to win it all out, just by dominating the entire league. I'd love it. Bring them coaches up. Bring Cossa up. I don't want him starting in the NHL yet. Not even in a backup. Maybe 1 or 2 games this season or next season. But he's 20 years old too. We got to remember that. Like he has another 3 years until he'll probably be at his prime level that we would really want him. But obviously we'll get him up before then. But you got to get some time down below before you get thrown back up, especially with his track record from earlier in the season. So I'd rather see him just get a little more practice in, especially with a coach that hopefully gets pulled up to the Grand Rapids Griffins too. So
Yeah, I believe that everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, majority of the people, whether that's the coaching staff, a lot of the players, they will make the jump to the AHL. I heard that the ECHL coach, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. He's the front runner to get the Grand Rapids Griffins coach head coaching job. And then there's an assistant coach with the ECHL that should be getting the head coaching job with Toledo. If everything goes well, that's the way it should pan out. A lot of Grand Rapids players got bumped down to play with Toledo in the playoffs. So Derek's right in that sense. There's going to be a lot of players going back up. And if you bring your coach, that does a lot better for those players. And for Cossa, like Derek mentioned, him not doing too well with the Griffins, those couple of games that he did, we talked about this in other episodes that obviously there was a coaching issue in Grand Rapids and they weren't utilizing those players properly. And it's kind of been that case for years, for a while now, right? That like we talked about this where we've had all these picks that we thought were going to pan out to be something and then just ended up being nothing. Svechnikov, Chalowski, Zadina, etc. There's a bunch of other players that you can name off, and there's a good reason why players like Raymond or like Mo Sider only got to play there for 1 year. Raymond didn't even play at all in Grand Rapids, so who knows? I do think that Cossa and Letman do have a case to be both the goalies for Grand Rapids. I think they make a fantastic tandem. Letman really isn't that old, so he deserves to get the promotion as well, just as much as Cossa does. So I think that would be great. All in general, go Toledo Walleye, go Fish, go whatever it is, fins up, whatever you want to call it. So good on them. Hopefully they can just win it out. That would be amazing and good for Cossa. That gives them the confidence boost they needs going into next season for sure. Toronto scored, so it's 2-1. Just an update. Even though it won't matter because you guys watching tomorrow, the game's over. So you're muted, Derek. Oy vey.
oh my goodness, I will never not be muted.
All right. So, oh, nope, there's one more. Leslie, you wanted to talk about Lucas Raymond, right?
Oh yes, sir. Yes, I did. So yeah, over in the World Championships in the IIHF, Lucas Raymond through 3 games has 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points. So I watched some of his highlights. It's worth noting that he's not playing against NHL talent. That is for sure. I don't actually know what country he's playing against, but let's just say that those guys aren't getting call ups to the NHL at any point. Some positives though, like when he's given time and space and he relies on his shot, he can rip that sucker. And
Yeah.
it is just he has a beautiful shot, man. I really feel like if he just like thinks about shooting first and passing second next year, 30 goals is the benchmark, right? Like there's no way he doesn't score 30. Like he's really got an underrated, underutilized shot, and I would love to see him bring more of that to Hockey Town next year. He's looking real good. We did just have Joe Veleno added to Team Canada's roster. I don't know if we talked about that. We might have already covered that, but yeah, he's going to be over there playing. Carter Mazur is on USA's roster, so that's awesome to see. It's definitely true that Team USA does not have the highest caliber roster, but just given the fact that he hasn't even played a single game in the NHL and really only a handful of games of the AHL, the fact he's on that roster in an international competition, I mean, that really just speaks volumes to his game and gives you all the confidence in the world that he'll be a regular, everyday, solid NHLer. So, yeah, that tournament will be going on probably through the month of May. I don't know when it wraps up, but if you just want to watch some extra hockey, there's some Red Wings over there that you can pay attention to. So, yeah, it's very exciting stuff.
Yeah, I believe the tournament officially kicks off May 12th. This is just the pre-tournament where they're just exhibition games, but still, nonetheless, like Leslie said, it's still good to see him that he's doing what he is. Granted, it's not NHL caliber talent, but it is what it is. You want to see him put up points. Yeah, I think I don't want to call it the expectation, but I do think that the next step forward for Lucas Raymond going into next season, he needs to be that 25 to 30 goal scorer. We need another one of those. We need someone on Dylan Larkin's caliber. That should be the next step for Lucas Raymond for sure. Michael Rasmussen with a full healthy season. I think he's anywhere from 15 to 20 goals in a season. He could potentially break 50 points as well. So if Lucas Raymond can get to 80 points, I think it's possible with the way that the league is now in terms of scoring and production. So we'll just have to wait and see. But good on him. Yeah, plenty of other noticeable players. Jake Walman finally chose to go with Team Canada. USA has a very lackluster roster other than having Carter Mazur. I would probably say he's probably one of the top 5 players on that roster. Not even going to lie. And that maybe with a little bias, but not really. Go check out that roster. It's pretty gross. Derek, do you want to touch on any of this a little bit?
Oh, no, honestly, I'm good, guys. I have not paid attention to any of that stuff as of recently, so I love that Matt and you have, because, whoo, out of my ballpark.
All right, so let's go ahead and kick it off then with with a little mock draft, pre-lottery style. All right, cool. Well, everyone knows the rules. You obviously got to do a lottery before you can see who gets the first and second overall pick. As we all know, as Red Wings fans, we get shafted every time. So let's just do our best. Cross your fingers. All hail Magic Conch. And let's go ahead and kick it off. Remember, Derek gets the first pick. So let's go ahead and see who gets the first pick in the 2023 NHL entry draft. The Columbus Blue Jackets get the first overall pick. So let's go ahead and see who gets the second one. The Anaheim Ducks get Adam Fantilli. Woo!
That you know of. Well, you get to choose for them, so.
Well, they basically just swapped picks, so it didn't really change other than that much. So, all right. Let's go ahead and start her up here.
Ooh, if I was Anaheim, I'd be a little upset right now.
I'd be highly upset. If I was
still gonna happen.
Derek, you get the first overall pick for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
I wonder who he's going to pick.
Wow, guys, this is a really hard one. I think I'm going to have to go really slow up to the podium to pick this pick for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Oh, wait, no, I don't. It's Connor Bedard. Oh, my God. Who would I guess that one was going to happen? Ooh, the sensational Femon goes first overall the Columbus Blue Jackets and will probably play opening day next year. You're welcome.
And also probably get a hat trick in that game, too.
He probably will, let's be honest. And they'll still lose, don't get me wrong, but he'll still get the hat trick.
All right, Connor Bedard is off the board. Yeah, I think Columbus is pretty damn happy with this pick. So I got the second pick for the Ducks. And for the Ducks, honestly, this is a very good consolation prize for them. The Ducks select Adam Fantilli out of the University of Michigan. I did hear rumblings, though, that I don't want to call it a rumor, but that there is the potential that Adam Fantilli does go back to the University of Michigan next year.
That'd be a very upsetting day for whoever drafts him.
Not really sure why he would do that, but okay, sure, why not?
Yeah, I don't understand why he would do that either. I don't think it makes any sense. But for the Ducks, you got to think about it. That might work out for the Ducks because then that gives them more time to keep tanking.
Which they'd probably do either way, even if he plays next year.
Right.
I feel like they would.
All right,
that actually leads me to the next team that I'm picking for. This may surprise a lot of you guys. I have Chicago taking Matvei Michkov, and I'll tell you exactly why. I think the Russian factor, with some players, that's going to be a factor. It definitely will. With Michkov, he is just such a special talent, and he really should be a bona fide superstar in the NHL. I don't think it's going to matter that much. I think a team like Chicago, they're playing the long game. This is like their first year of committing to a full-on long-term rebuild. They're not just picking for this year. They're picking for Macklin Celebrini next year, whoever's first overall in 2025. I mean, they're going to be stinking it up for a while. And I think if I'm them at number 3, I want to take the highest upside guy, the highest superstar potential. Outside of Bedard and Fantilli, that's Michkov.
I agree with you. Yeah, I would agree with you there.
Honestly.
Yeah, you could make the case for Carlson if, Chicago really needed that center, but I think going for the winger, and then if you can get a top 3 pick, and if you can get someone like a Celebrini or something, one of those players that could be a center next year, it could work out for them, having a Celebrini and a Michkov on the same line. Oh my, I would hate
to imagine that.
Chicago. Oh my goodness. All right, Derek. You're up next, buddy. So you have the 4th overall pick. I'll scroll up here for you so you can see who's left.
About to say, looks like we got San Jose up in here, huh?
Looks like it's San Jose with the 4th pick.
And obviously, because Michkov's off the table, we all know who's going next. It is Leo Carlsson going over to San Jose. The beautiful center. You can't, top 6 NHLer, you're not going to do anything about that. He's going to be up there scoring goals for them all day long. Even though if the rest of the team is still tanking, because we all know their defenseman is pretty much Erik Karlsson, who's an offensive defenseman, so that should tell you everything you need to know. But they will definitely take that steal of a gem right there, Leo Carlsson for days.
Yeah, I for the Sharks in general, this is basically how we were with the 2020 draft when we got the consolation prize of Lucas Raymond. I think the Sharks are running to the podium, whether if that was Michkov or Carlson. I think that they are very happy with the pick that they got. So I'm next for the Canadians. I hate this. I hate that I have the Canadians. Leslie thinks that they would Leslie thinks that they will take a winger. I don't think so. I think that they want a center to help out with all the wingers that they have. And I think that this might be a hot take of a pick, but I do think that they go with Dalibor Dvorsky. He's just such a big boy, and he is so hard to get off the puck. And when he was in that tournament for the WJC, he with Edward Shala, no, that's wrong. They're not on the same team. But either way, he pretty much was just dominating or being dominant for that whole entire team. He was the best player on the team in general. So he very much is someone who could help them out in their center depth. He is very much a 200-foot two-way forward centerman. So I think that that's what they're going to do. If they wouldn't, then I think it would probably be someone like David Reinbacher. So it'll come down to being either the center depth or the first right-handed defenseman off the board. So, Leslie, you have the Arizona Coyotes.
Well, that pick definitely surprises me because, Dvorsky wasn't even the best center left available. Like, if I'm Arizona and I have Will Smith still on the board, I'm sprinting up to the podium, and I'm probably getting in trouble with the NHL because they want to show some commercials between picks, but I'll be like, I don't care. Will Smith is on the board. I'm taking him, and if you say no, I will Will Smith slap you. So I'm definitely taking Will Smith there.
Yeah, I should say I'll add on to mine as well. I'm sorry, Leslie. The reason why the Canadians aren't taking Will Smith is because the Canadians are scared that he gets a lot of his production from playing with players that he's been with for the last 2 or 3 years, and they're going to do it again in college with Boston College. So I think that they'd rather go with a player who's played with different people a lot rather than someone who's been playing with the same teammates for a long time. So that was my reasoning behind it as well.
Yeah, so I guess that would actually make a lot of sense. Dvorsky definitely played on one of the weaker teams in the World Juniors, or not the World Juniors, the U18s,
Yeah,
and
you had it. World
he was
Juniors.
just absolutely, yeah, okay. So he was just absolutely lighting up that tournament with pretty much no supporting cast whatsoever.
Yeah.
I still feel like Will Smith is a very special talent. I
Mhm.
think any of these Team USA guys, when you get them split up with each other, like they're probably not going to be playing with each other on any of these franchises unless one team gets super, super lucky, like the Red Wings. They could get lucky and pair some of them together. I just think he's such a special talent that it's not really going to matter who he's playing with. I think he's going to elevate the guys around him. He
Mhm.
probably will need a little bit more refinement, probably at least a year or two in college, and then he can just hop in right away. And also think about this. They also have Logan Cooley from last year. A center depth of Logan Cooley
Yeah.
and Will Smith, you really can't
Yeah,
find much better in the
yeah.
NHL.
That's
So
a great
that's great center
1-2
depth right
punch.
there.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that's a great 1-2 punch. I think Arizona's also running up to the podium for Will Smith. I don't think that they were expecting to get him. So I think
Sprinting.
that,
I didn't expect him
yeah,
to last this long, actually.
yeah. So Derek, you
Yeah.
have the Philadelphia Flyers next.
Yes, I do. And the Philadelphia Flyers, what am I at? 6, 7. We're at 7 already. We're grabbing that big old boy at 180 pounds, 6 foot tall. We got Ryan Leonard going for the Philadelphia Flyers. My choice right there.
Really?
I'm picking.
God, Derek.
I
Damn it.
feel it's a big boy, very developed, fits the mold of what Philly likes to have on the team.
Yeah.
And after watching him in the U.S. Cup, or not the U.S. Cup, the World Cup, a little bit bigger. Whoo! I know the U.S. team was stacked and he was part of that amazing line, but when you produce like that, your stats go up. And I know most places have him going like later in the top 10 or even earlier in the bottom like teens, but if I was Philly, I'd be like, okay, he's on the board still. That's somebody we need to come to our team to help produce, be able to throw his body around, and possibly, I'm pretty sure he's one of the ones going to Boston College, correct?
Yes, correct.
If anyone, cool. So yeah, obviously he'll probably need to go 1 year there with the rest of his team to develop. But after that, they'll throw him out there on probably the second line just to destroy some people, throw his body around, and actually put some pucks in the net. I couldn't see anything that Philadelphia doesn't like about that guy.
Yeah, no, I think
That's a great pick, and I hate you for making it.
yeah, I think it was either so Philadelphia is taking him to be a center. Is that what they're hoping for, Derek?
That's what I'm thinking at this point. They need someone to
Okay.
lead the team a little bit, and I feel like they need to put that responsibility on someone's back, and it might be Ryan Leonard here.
I don't disagree with you that when he plays with Smith and Perot, he plays on the wing. I think he can be a center. It just comes down to Philadelphia, how patient they're willing to be with their centers, because obviously Nolan Patrick is a fine example of how they rushed their prospects. So hopefully it works out for him. But I think it's a good pick. I think, yeah, you could have gone either way with Oliver Moore or Ryan Leonard if they truly wanted center depth. So I think that's a good pick. So the Washington Capitals are next, and I'm really trying my best to leave the Red Wings with a good pick, even though I'm not the one picking for them. But based on what I'm looking at that's left, and based on what I think that the Washington Capitals would like to have, I think that they would like to have someone who very much represents an OV. And I'm taking a shot in the dark here, and I think that they go for Edward Shala, the big winger, 6'2" winger. I think that they want someone to help with the goal scoring. If they can convince Kuzi to stay, that center depth, they have Backstrom. Their wingers aren't getting any younger. I think that if you gave Edward Shala minimal minutes, maybe you can get him on the third line, let him learn right away. I think that this is a player that they could bring up right away. He plays in the men's league. He's got a really great shot. I think what it comes down to is that you're nervous that the compete really isn't there when he doesn't have the puck. It's not that he isn't a fast skater. His skating is fine. So he reminds me of Ovi in that regard, but he reminds me of young Ovi where he wasn't really trying to do anything else besides score and look disgusting. So I think that that's what Washington's trying to do here, and that's who they're taking.
I mean, from what you're saying, Zach, he literally is a second Ovi at this point. Like, he's great when the puck's on his stick. He can smash the puck in the net. But the
Yeah.
defensive side, or when he doesn't have the puck on his stick, he kind of just does the Ovi thing where he just kind of glides around to the open area waiting for someone to give it to him or waiting for somebody else to pick up the puck. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I can definitely see him with the mold with the Capitals. I wouldn't probably expect him to go that early, but Capitals might see something in him that I don't. So that's why they get paid more than me too. So
Yeah. I mean, it was tough for me. I mean, like I almost went right-handed defenseman. I mean, I really did, but I think that they probably want to. I think having Ovi groom their next pure shooter is the way to go. And Shala definitely has one of the best shots in this draft, so he's going to have a great mentor to learn from. Leslie, you have the Detroit Red Wings. Who are they taking based on what's left on the board here? You got plenty of good options. Do you need me to scroll or anything? Do you?
Oh, I was just about to say, dude, like I could do literally anything here and still come away happy with it.
Yeah.
there's a huge
wow, there's a lot
here.
of options you can do here. Sandine Pellikka still on the board. That'd be really cool to get a right D like that. We desperately need a right D, and he also plays like a Quinn Hughes. That'd be a really valuable piece to add. Oliver Moore is still there. I'm surprised that no one has taken Zach Benson yet. I will say that he's not exactly an Irishman pick, and I'd be shocked if he falls this far, but I kind of see why he might fall this far. It's a little bit of a concern with his size and his skill, or not his skill, but his compete. Matthew Wood is a good option. This is tough, man. I think I might go a little bit off the board here, which I don't really feel like this guy should be off the board. He put up a historic season for Team USA. I think he's going to be a dynamic winger in the NHL. Maybe he could even play center. I'm going to take Gabe Perreault at pick number 9.
Wow. Okay.
Gabe Perreault, all right.
Yeah, I mean, the kid put up a 132-point season with the U18 team and had a massive tournament. 18 points in 7 games. I don't know, boys. I think that's my guy right there. I mean, I could hear arguments for Oliver Moore. I think Oliver Moore is a really good option here too. And if I know Steve Yzerman, that's probably the guy he's going to be looking at closely because we really need center depth. I think Steve Yzerman is just going to take the best center available at this pick, no matter who's available. But I can't lie, I really love Gabe Perreault's upside. I think he's going to be a star in the NHL. And to me, even after this tournament that he had this past month, I think he's still criminally underrated. And that's honestly a steal right there for me.
Yeah, for me with Gabe Perreault, a lot of drafts that you see will have him anywhere from like 15 maybe to 25. Some have him early 30, which I don't think that's the case anymore after the tournament.
He bumped up some spots. I'm looking at 29 on my screen right now. I'm like, I don't think that right now.
And it's the same thing with Will Smith. A lot of people are going to say his production comes from playing with Will Smith and Ryan Leonard on that top line, and that's fine. But I don't think that this is very unrealistic, Leslie. I think that this is a fine pick. Some people might find it odd that you are taking Gabe Perreault over Oliver Moore because Oliver Moore plays a true center position. Gabe Perreault probably can play center. He's listed as a right wing, but he shoots left. If he pans out as a winger, that's fine. We need top end talent on the wing. He's 18 years old, 5'11". I'm looking at elite prospects right now. It says 5'11", 165 pounds on here. Yeah, a pretty historic season, like Leslie said, in 63 games, 53 goals, 79 assists, 132 points. And then in the World Junior Championship U18s, 18 points in 7 games. I'm pretty sure he was just 1 point shy of Will Smith, who led the whole entire league and won MVP. So I watched it was like a mini short docuseries when I was watching the World Junior Championships, and they talked with Perreault and they talked about his brother and then like his family, his background, and they have a hockey family. his older brother was always like, oh yeah, like there was one point where like he went away for one summer, came back, and he was bigger than me and he was just as good as I am. And I'm pretty sure that they're like 2, 3, 4 years apart too. So it's something about the younger brothers are always better than the younger brothers. Evgeny versus Andre.
Mm-hmm.
Luke versus Jack, and then Jack versus Quinn. It's the same thing. I like the pick. I really do. I think that this is outside of Zach Benson. I think that this kid is going to be, if you look back in 5 years, I think it's going to look pretty funny when people didn't see how he should have been taken. It's going to be tough to say top 5, but it could be. Honestly, he could be like the top 5 talent. But this is just so deep. I mean, like you said, Leslie, like you literally could have picked anyone. You could have had Pelika, you could have had Moore, you could have had Benson. I think Gabe Barreau is a good pick. I really do. Derek, you want to touch on it?
I also just kind of look at it this way because, like, he probably will end up being a winger in the NHL. That's what he's playing right now, and that's fine if he becomes a winger. I just know that this team right now, the biggest issue was goal scoring. We could not score at 5-on-5, and the power play for most of the year was garbage too. It got a little better at the end, but it was still really bad. I think if you're the Red Wings at this pick, and you have Will Smith gone, obviously the top 5 gone, maybe some guys you'd rather have. I don't know. You got to take the scoring upside when you can. Plus, this draft is very deep at center. You can get a really good center at pick 18. So that's also part of it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think you have to take, if there's no top end centers left, like the Will Smiths, like you're saying, then yeah, you have to take whatever's the best left, whether if that's that right-handed defenseman where there's 3 of them you could justify taking with the 9th pick. Or you take one of the top wingers. And that's Gabe Perreault right there. I do think that he could be a top line winger. Derek, your thoughts on the pick?
I think it's a good pick. Honestly, it's what Stevie would be looking for out there. Would I pick him at our 9th pick? Probably not. I'd probably be leaning towards more the Oliver Moore side with that one. But at the same time, like my mindset says, like maybe he'll be there with our 2nd first round. But with what he played in the World Cup, it's just his stock went up so dramatically. So I just don't think he'll be around that long anymore. Like what I'm looking at on my screen saying going 29th, I'm like, no, that's long gone now. Like there's no chance he makes it past 20. So even 15 would surprise me. But if we could by any means get an earlier pick and then get him later on with our 2nd pick, I would be very happy. But I think it's a good pick in general still. Very good player. Someone who would definitely produce for us later on.
All right. Let's go on to the next pick. Derek, you have the 10th pick, which belongs to St. Louis. Let me scroll up here to show you who we got left. Or do you already know? Do you have a player in mind?
Well, this is a hard one. It's going back and forth between a forward and a D right now because obviously San Jose could use some help on both ends. And I can't remember. Do we have San Jose already picking once, right?
San Jose took Leo Carlson.
You have St. Louis.
That's right. And you know what? Since they got their first one, we're going David Reinbacher on this guy. We're picking up that big old defenseman to try to help that poor San Jose defensive lineup right now because only having one player that's the only offensive forward, they need some real big help. What?
You're picking for St. Louis.
I told you were picking for St. Louis.
Well, we'll just cut this part out. It's okay.
I'm not cutting it out. What? I'm not cutting it out. Take the pick. Are you still picking Reinbacher?
No, we're switching it up. We're going back to Zach Benson now, baby.
Okay, thanks,
guys.
What?
All right.
Zach Benson, the wonder who's sitting at 5'10", 160 pounds. Honestly, as long as he gains 25 pounds, he'll be in the NHL next year right away with that team. Like, that kid's just too good. His mind's just too great out there on the ice. I could see him like halfway through the season getting called up, unless he's playing college somewhere, which I have no idea about. But just a great player, and he just needs to add some weight, and St. Louis would love to have him just floating through up there with him. Any arguments?
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I'm a little shocked that he did fall this far, but like we talked about in the last episode when we did his draft profile on him, he's going to fall due to his size. That happens every single year. I think St. Louis walks up very happy that they're getting a very dynamic player. Um, his height is of concern, but his skill just it outweighs it for me. And I think at 10 for St. Louis, I think that's a bargain. You can get over the height very easily. Just surround him with some big players so that way he doesn't get crunched out there. Honestly, that's all you got to do. All right. The next pick, unless Leslie wanted to touch on him.
Well, I just think if you're St. Louis and you're picking down there at number 10 and an elite scoring talent like Zach Benson just falls into your lap, you're kind of crazy not to take him. I realize I say that after I just took Gabe Perreault at number 9. I just feel like I'm trying to put myself in Steve Yzerman's shoes, and if Zach Benson falls to him at number 9, Zach Benson just isn't an Yzerman guy. I just really can't see him taking Zach Benson if he falls that far. I could be wrong. Maybe he's just has so much upside, and it'd just be that big of a story if he falls. Maybe Detroit will just look at it and be like, hey, Zach Benson's still here. Let's not overthink this. But I don't know. I made my pick, and I said my piece on that.
All right. All right, I have Vancouver next at number 11, and they are thrilled, and they love Swedes, so they're going Axel Sandin Pellikka. They would go Reinbacher, but I think that they like the Swede connection. So, who said something? Sorry, what?
Oh, that was me. I was like, I knew you were going to pick him. I'm staring right at his name right now. Like, he said Swede. There he is.
It's
number.
It would be
sitting in front of my face.
It would be between him and Reinbacher, but I know how Vancouver is. They like their Swedish players. I mean, Elias Peterson is one of them, and I know that they just got Philip Hronek, but long term, if things don't work out with Hronek, then at least you have Axel Sandin Pellikka to pair up with Quinn Hughes, and so that's what they're ultimately looking to do, is to find that partner for him eventually, if not short term, where it's pretty soon. So I think Axel Sandin Pellikka is probably going to play in the SHL one more season, then make the jump, but I wouldn't be shocked if he makes the jump this next season as well. So, Leslie, you have the Arizona Coyotes picking that own the Ottawa Senators pick. Let me scroll up here for you, buddy. Whoops, a little too far. So, you got some decent names left up on here. Honestly, here, I'll scroll down a little bit so you got Andrew Cristall, Matt Wood, Colby Barlow, Dragosevich, Reinbacher. Who are you taking?
Well, this also might be a little shock of a pick to you guys, but I know that Arizona has a lot of draft capital over these next few years. I think they can afford to take a big swing, and that big swing is going to be Andrew Cristall. I know that his skating and his strength, it's really not there yet, but I think he's a guy that if you can unlock his skating, he's going to be a star in the NHL. This dude is a human highlight reel. I mean, he can score, he can make plays. He had 95 points this year in 54 games with Kelowna. That's pretty insane. I mean, that's only 5 points shy of a 100-point season. And there's definitely a reason he slides this far. Like I said, his skating, it's pretty atrocious. I'm not going to lie. Part of me kind of feels like it's a mechanical issue, because I would be shocked that no coach has ever worked on that skating and ever improved it. They've kind of just been feeling this young man if they haven't done that. But even if the skating just kind of stays the way that it is, he's still a great playmaker. He could be a power play specialist. You could just kind of hide him on the power play and just put him right in that bumper slot and just score goals from there. I think he has all the skill in the world to kind of overcome that skating. And yeah, he's really just the highest upside guy left right here. And Arizona has so many picks, it doesn't even matter if they take a big swing. So that's who they're taking.
Yeah, and they just got an Adam Fantilli. That's their center right there. So I like the pick. They got their lethal scorer for the wing. I like the pick. And granted, his skating isn't the prettiest. He's still got work ethic. He still competes. He just looks like that he's digging ice chunks with his skates, honestly, when he is trying to do a nice little power stride. It looks like Bambi out the womb, to be honest with you. So for Arizona, like you said, yeah, they got so many picks that honestly they can't really go wrong with taking Andrew Kristaps. Or actually, I said Adam Fantilli. I'm sorry. They got Will Smith. My bad. So,
I wish it
we've
was
made so
Fantilli
many
if I was
picks
them.
that I forgot where they were picking. Derek, you're next, right? You have Buffalo.
I got Buffalo. Interesting. The one team that could kind of use a little bit of everything, but isn't doing terrible, kind of like the Wings are, maybe like a year from now. Let's see. What do they need up there? I would say they got a Tage Thompson. What would pair well with a Tage Thompson?
Can I give
Is
you
he on
can I
the
give
is
you a
he on
little
the wing?
insight? Yeah,
Yeah.
can I give you some insight?
Give me insight.
The, yeah, so this team, the Buffalo Sabres, they are very stacked on the left-handed D side. They don't have very many on the right-handed D side, and they have plenty of good wingers, and I think that they are pretty decent at center, but you can never go wrong with getting
Is he
center
spelling it
depth.
out for you? Give me an R. Give me an E. Give me an I.
I'm not
Can you
spelling anything
stop what
out
I was
for him,
about
but
to say?
I'm definitely trying to help him
I
out
mean,
and
you're
like
only
letting him
pushing me in
know
the
what their
direction of
situation is.
a team that needs a right-handed D, and the one that has been picked, that's probably one of the top ones in the draft. We'll go Reinbacher on this one. David Reinbacher, the tank over there, the one I accidentally said earlier because I thought I was picking for somebody else. I still got my pick here in the end run. Let's go. Get that giant defenseman out there for them. Get them a little more depth over on the right side. You know, honestly, Buffalo might be able to make a playoff push once they start getting a little bit more depth, I would say. So this guy will definitely add to it, like Zach was saying.
Yeah, he's someone who could make the jump right away too. And like you have a back end with Owen Power and Rasmus Dahlin on the left side, which they have both listed to play both sides. So now that you're adding Reinbacher, you don't really have to do that anymore. So if you can add another, maybe like a free agent right-handed D player, however you want to go about it, there's your top four pairing is Rasmus Dahlin, Reinbacher, Owen Power, and insert X player here. I think this is a great pick. He's a big boy, 6'2", 200 something pounds, and Buffalo is going to be a tough competitor for us for a long, long time. And it's going to suck. Leslie, you got anything you want to add on it?
I can't lie to you, boys. I'm not going to sit up here and say that Reinbacher is going to be a bust because I don't think that's true, but Reinbacher to me is just the least sexiest player here. He just really gets nothing going for me. I mean, he plays in a really strange league over in Austria that I feel like not a whole lot of players who go to the NHL play in. Like usually it's like a Marco Kasper who's Austrian who goes to like the Swedish league because that's where you get the most eyeballs on you and the most comparables, I guess. I could definitely see Buffalo's need for Reinbacher. Like they could pair him up with Rasmus Dahlin, and you're not going to mess with anybody if David Reinbacher's out there on the ice. That dude is massive already. I think he's only 18 now, and he's 6'3" or 6'2". Like he's only going to grow from here. Some people are also saying that Reinbacher could also just be like another sider, where maybe he's kind of suppressing his point production just to focus on defense. And I really feel like Sider's the exception to that rule and not the rule itself. I feel like you don't just go out there and find a Sider every year. That just doesn't really happen. I don't know. Reinbacher could be something good in the NHL. He probably won't produce that much. He'll probably just be like the next Jacob Slavin, which that's fine. That's a good defenseman right there. So, yeah, I guess I'd be all right with that if I was Buffalo. It's definitely a big need for them. I'm not going to lie, but there is definitely a lot of scoring talent here that I'd rather have over him.
Really
Leslie.
depends on what you need.
Yeah,
Leslie,
it does. It really does. You're true. You're right. That's true.
To correct you, he plays out of the Swiss league, not in Austria. He's Austrian.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, it's not a super scouted league, I guess. I don't know. It's just a weirder league. Like, you don't really know many guys that come out of that league. Like, I can think of, like, Roman Josi off the top of my head, and that's about it.
Austin Matthews.
Did he play in the Oh yeah, was that like during COVID or something?
No,
That he played there?
that was the league he played out of.
Was it really?
Yeah,
I have
What?
to
across the
I have to
pond there,
edit
bud.
this because I'm wrong.
Hold up.
No, you keep it in here if you're wrong. That's the way we do
Oh,
these things.
I looked up Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews.
Oh, sure as shit. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, I
I was
think this
right.
actually might be the league below it. I don't know.
Either way. All right. Yeah, let's move on. So
Either
who
way, he played over there.
who just picked? Derek picked?
I did pick.
All right. Oh, I get to pick for the Pittsburgh Penguins. All right. How do I want to
Gross. Give him
fire
the
them up?
give him a dud fourth liner.
Honestly, I like
Just
where
reach in the
the
third round
Pittsburgh
for them.
Penguins pick because they have a lot of good options still. Every time I'm doing a mock draft, I'm like, Pittsburgh has some pretty good options left, and majority of these players are still left when I do that. Wow. Okay, I'm still surprised that Oliver Moore is still here. So I think I'm
Darn
going
it!
to
Don't
take.
pick him.
Yeah, I'm going to take Oliver Moore for him because you're not going to have Crosby and Malkin for much longer. You got to start building your center depth eventually. So yeah, the Pittsburgh Penguins are taking Oliver Moore, and that is hopefully their 1C of the future. But I see Oliver Moore to. I think it's comparable as Dylan Larkin. I really do,
Mhm.
and it sucks that the Red Wings couldn't get him, but maybe the Red Wings trade up
Hey,
in
we'll
real
see.
life
But it's only a few picks away.
if Oliver Moore was still there. So, Leslie, you get the Nashville Predators at 15, and then Derek closes it out with the Calgary Flames. We're only doing 16 picks today for the lottery team, so it's just easier for us and less of a hassle for you guys watching and listening.
All right then. Well, looks like Nashville is kind of going into like a little mini rebuild, maybe almost like a mini retool. So I think with them, they're going to want the guys who are going to be able to contribute right away. And if not right away, they should have a high ceiling. I'm going to take Colby Barlow here. I think he
Yeah.
is one of the better scoring threats left here. He had 46 goals this year in 79 games in the OHL. He definitely just projects to be a scoring winger. I don't think he's going to be too much of a 200-foot player, but to be honest, I kind of see Philip Forsberg in his game actually. So I think that's a perfect pick for Nashville. Um, yeah, there you go, Colby Barlow. I
Yeah,
think
Colby
it's a really good
Barlow.
pick. That's
Yeah, he
that's
looks
some
like
guy that if he made it all the way to 18, I'm banging the table for him if I'm Steve Eiserman, but he probably
yeah.
won't.
For those of you who do not know what Colby Barlow looks like, he's got a really thick mustache already, and he looks like he's 30 years old already. So that's
He
someone
looks
who can
older
make
than
a
me.
push. He looks, yeah, he's someone who can make a push pretty. I wouldn't say right away, but within a year for sure. I mean, he's got a great
It would
shot,
not
and he's
take him
showed
long.
a great player. Derek, go ahead. Calgary Flames. Let me scroll up here for you, buddy.
Oh, this is
Yeah,
a
still
hard
plenty
one.
of really good names left on this board, honestly. I'll scroll down for you as well, so that way you can see some of the other names. Let's see. I think all the pretty
Trying.
much some of the bigger names have already been taken. I mean, if you're 16, if you're going to Calgary Flames and you're seeing some of these players, I mean, some of these players have fallen, but some of these players, honestly, you could justify taking here as well. So, sorry, I didn't mean to hover over these four in particular, but yeah, you got plenty of good players left. Derek, who are you taking with the last pick?
That's a hard one. I mean, they made good moves in the during the season with was it Hubero that they
Huberdeau,
added on?
Kadri.
Yeah, so I'd say their forwards are doing pretty well right now. Obviously, we're anticipating them to do a lot better this year, but they didn't, especially with how many goals they were scoring against.
So I would say possibly with this pick, I would go for a defenseman, and you turd nugget, you chose the one I wanted up there. Let's see, who do we got left? Do.
You going left or right?
It's a good question.
You know
Because you
what?
got Mikhail Guliev and you have Lucas Dragasevich left.
You also have a really, really good winger there too, but I won't say who it is.
Oh, I wonder who it is. You know, I could see that screen and make it a lot easier.
But we're just going off my screen over here. It's a last pick. It has to be a good one. Whew. Let's see who is left. You know what? They got who's on their right wing? Is Hardrew, whatever his name is, on the right? I'm trying to remember these people's names, and I don't know at all. No. They are going defensemen, so we are going... Where's he at? We're going Dragovich. Lucas Dragovich out there, boys. They are getting a defenseman, and I feel like I have no idea anything about this guy. I'm not going to lie. Just one of the other top defensemen I see in the list, and I'm like, you know what? They could use it. I looked at their D-line. Nothing like their forwards, and they need someone in the back anyways to help push it up to these forwards. So let's see them start rebuilding that defense a little bit, especially after, losing their head coach.
I'd agree with you there, Derek. I don't think it's weird that they're going defense at all. I mean, I'm looking at them. On the left-hand side, they have Noah Hannafin. Right side, they have Rasmus Anderson. Even more on the right side. I mean, they have Troy Stetcher, who used to be a Red Wing. Yeah, they're pretty thin on the right side. I don't know too much about their prospects, to be honest, but I know that that's a team that hasn't really been picking low in the draft lately for quite some time now. So, and look at them now. They missed the playoffs, and they're the last team picking that didn't make the playoffs. So, they're very much still a middle of the pack team. So, yeah, I like the pick, and that's a good right-handed shooting defenseman. I mean, the 3 right-handed shooting defensemen that we took in this exercise, you can make the case for any one of them to go before the other, honestly. It just depends on your scouts and your general manager and how you view them overall, and where you could see them or how you could see them being in the future as players. So I like the pick. I think it's fine. He looked good for Team Canada. Wasn't obviously... I liked Axel Sandin Pellikka better, but I thought he did pretty good, commanding that top pairing for sure. No thoughts, Leslie?
Good job, Derek.
All right.
Yeah, I just looked up his stats real quick. In the WHL, he was over a point per game as a defenseman. That's pretty cool. I guess you don't really see that very often. Yeah, he looks like a pretty solid defenseman. I think the biggest thing he has going for him, he's on the right side. So that's awesome. There's not a whole lot of those out there. And if you can get a young right-handed defenseman and develop him, that's pretty valuable for your franchise, honestly. And the Calgary Flames kind of strike me as a team that really does need to load up on just talent all across the board. So whoever's available down there at number 16, it's got to be the best guy available, no matter what position is. Me personally, just looking at our mock right here, Matthew Wood is still available. I think I'd take Wood over him, but that's just me.
I mean, it definitely comes down to like what Calgary needs the most at the time. I don't know what their prospect pool is like, and it's tough to say like, oh yeah, based on our roster now, this is a player that we could see ourselves having in the future. How long is it going to take like a Matt Wood to make it to the NHL? I don't know. So how soon he could be an impact player? I don't know. So maybe they viewed Lucas Dragicevic as a better overall, how do I want to say this? Developmental player, I guess. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they view that spot on their roster more of a need than they do on the wing. So who knows? I don't think that there really was a wrong pick, but Leslie's right. Yeah, Matt Wood is a very talented player. I guess we could talk about some of these players because the Red Wings do. If we continued on, the Red Wings would pick in 2 more spots. So you just have to worry about the Canadians, see who they would take. But looking to see who's left based on what we did come up with, I mean, the Red Wings could have. I like Riley Height. He's a Swiss tool, Army knife type of player. Braden Yeager, same thing. He's just bigger. Matt Wood, if he's still there, I would take Matt Wood. A lot of people like Nate Danielson, Samuel Hanzik, Otto Stenberg's there. You could take him. Kasper Houtinen, that's a player that I talked about in some of a couple episodes ago. He's got a booming shot. He's a big boy, 6'3", 207 pounds. And yeah, Red Wings have some great options. So let's go ahead and recap how we did in our draft. Derek kicked things off with the Columbus Blue Jackets taking Connor Bedard. I took Adam Fantilli for the Ducks, and Leslie took Matvei Michkov for the Chicago Blackhawks. How certain are we that this is going to be the top 3 come draft night, boys?
I'm gonna say 0% because the Red Wings are gonna be number 1.
I meant in terms of the order that these players are taken, Leslie. Yes, we know that the Red Wings, all hail Magic Conch, will get the first overall.
Well, yeah, I mean, the 2 first ones are right. Honestly, Matvei Michkov is really just gonna depend on who's picking him.
Yeah.
Like I only went with Chicago here at number 3 because just looking at the teams up there at the top of the lottery, they strike me as the team that is just really gunning for that long-term teardown and rebuild. I guess the same could be said about the Ducks and the Sharks. The Sharks don't really even have that many prospects to speak of, but I don't know. Chicago will be my number 1 target there if they don't get number 1 overall or number 2 overall. They're going to take Michkov if he's available.
Yeah.
I'd say between 3 and 5 right there are going to be maybe even 3 to 6. It's going to be a really back and forth on what teams need. And all those players are pretty much the same caliber. Some might get a few more points than the others. Some might be a little more hockey smart than others. But it really just depends on who's picking and who needs to get what the team needs at the time. So I say those 3 spots there are going to go bouncing back and forth pretty easily.
It's just pretty crazy to think because even if you threw in San Jose and the Canadiens in there, all 5 of those teams, even the Arizona Coyotes, I mean, pretty much anyone from picks 1 to 8, all those teams really do not have a deep prospect pool. So no pick is wrong for them. It just really depends what they value more in this draft and who they can see is going to give them the best return when they pick them. So I've heard people say that, if the Red Wings get the second overall pick, I could see them taking Leo Carlsson. That's an interesting take. I think I would probably prefer to take Adam Fantilli, but I like the pick, and I think that could be an Yzerman pick for sure.
Yeah, I don't see that happening at all. I think Adam Fantilli is him. Like, there's no way that he's going to be passed up for anybody. That would be insane. If they did somehow get number 3, which I think, like, literally the chances of that is, like, pigs flying. Like, there's no chance at all. But if they go to number 3, Leo Carlsson's their guy.
Yeah, 100%. And they have a 0.2% chance of doing that. So we'll just have to wait and see. In terms of the other picks, so we kind of touched on the first 3 picks. I mean, 4th, 5th, and 6th are pretty straightforward in terms of, well, I guess not really, because Leslie kind of sounded surprised that I had Dvorsky here. I mean, is there someone else that you guys could have seen that would have fallen in the 5 to 7 or even the 4 to 6 range? Well, I mean, Will Smith might have probably went first before Dvorsky.
That's the only thing I was surprised at there. Like, I still kind of feel like he has a good chance of going right after Will Smith. It's just Arizona can do so many things to that pick. It's really hard to pin down what they would do, but Dvorsky wouldn't be crazy at 6.
I mean, and if Will Smith's at 6, Arizona's going to pick him up no problem real quick there, unfortunately 100%. For us. But yeah, I can see them swap pretty easily. Like all of our from like 10 down, there's a lot of like possibility of anybody to get these people. I'd say, okay, 9 down probably. They're all pretty decent players that can go at any time.
Yeah, I would say that for the case of Will Smith, any pick is going to be an interesting one. I think once you get to Will Smith, it's off the board, right? It's anyone's pick. It's everyone's draft board is going to be different. Everyone's going to have someone higher than the other. So based on what we have for the Red Wings and Gabe Perreault, not calling Leslie's pick out or anything, but based on the players that were taken after Gabe Perreault, are there any players that you rather would have taken other than Gabe Perreault? For me, what I see, it would probably either be Zach Benson or Axel Sandin Pellikka. Not really trying to go the opposite of what Leslie said, but I do think Zach Benson, I do think that it's a prime Cole Caulfield, Alex DeBrincat situation. And he doesn't fit the exact Yzerman mold. I don't even know what exactly you mean by that, Leslie. He's not big, so maybe that's what it is. But he definitely has compete from what I've seen in his tapes. And he's definitely the top player on his team in the juniors. So he definitely leads that team for sure. And I think he could be a top 6 winger for sure. a really good one too. So Axel Sendin Pelika, same thing. We love the Swedes, and he's a right-handed shooting defenseman. That's a huge hole for us. So those are the two for me.
Yeah, I guess if it wasn't going to be Gabe Perreault, I would go Oliver Moore with that pick. Oliver Moore would be a really good pick. We do know that Steve Yzerman is prone to reach. I think in this draft he won't really have to reach at all, but there is an intriguing name right there that has been ranked really low. I'm not going to say I wouldn't be shocked. I'd be definitely shocked, but I would see his argument for it. If he picked Otto Stenberg there, I'd be like, that's crazy, but he may have a point. He may be onto something. Like, Otto Stenberg is a vastly criminally underrated player. And I know we didn't go to pick 18 because we wanted to just do like the cutoff of the lottery, but if Otto Stenberg is there at pick 18 for the Red Wings, which there's a good chance he will be,
yeah,
don't be surprised if he's taken to pick 18. I mean, that guy, everywhere he has played, whether it's the Swedish league, the youth league in Sweden, the World Juniors, he's produced and produced and produced. And look at that. He's a center. Perfect. That's exactly what we need. I wouldn't be shocked if he gets taken there.
Yeah, he's all over the board in terms of like mock drafts and where he's ranked, anywhere from like early 20s. I mean, there's one, or no, I lied, sorry. Well, I didn't lie. I didn't say anything. But yeah, as early as the early 20s, as late as I'm seeing 50th by elite prospects. So yeah, in every league he's produced. In the J20 this year, he put up 26 points in 29 games. He played in 23 SHL games for Frölunda and put up 3 points. It's not the greatest, but that's the same case as we've seen for other Swedish players that go through that system. Lucas Raymond, he played a handful of games, but only produced so much. So he's 17 years old. I don't know what else you really expect from him. But in the World Junior Championship in the U18s, yeah, he put up 16 points in 7 games. And that team went into OT with the United States, and they won silver. So yeah, I think that is a real sneaky good pick at 18, if that's where the Red Wings pick with their second pick. I think it might be early at 9, but that could be a steal of a pick at 18, 3 years down the line. I think he could beat Marco Kasper. He could be another Marco Kasper.
He could be better. He could honestly be better than Marco Kasper. I mean, he's putting a better production than Marco Kasper did at that age. Maybe Otto Stenberg has more talent to play with. Like, it's not always apples to oranges, black and white, but there's a good chance that he could be even better. Like, look at it this way. If you have a future center depth of Larkin, Stenberg, and Kasper, and Veleno, baby. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Real dangerous.
And I think that's all we got here now. So, yeah, let's go ahead and close it off on this pre-lottery mock. As you guys know, like we mentioned at the start of the video, we will be going live tomorrow, Monday. It's probably today for you guys, 7:30 p.m. on YouTube. It will be our first live event. Hopefully many more to come. Hopefully just not for the draft lottery, and maybe just for the draft, and we're picking at pick 32. So make sure you're watching out for that. Yeah, let us know what you guys thought about our mock draft down in the comment section. We really do want to hear from you guys, who you guys think that the Red Wings could take at 9, even at 18, even though we didn't go that far into the draft. But yeah, once again, let us know what you guys thought about that. But yeah, I think we're done for this episode. We're not doing a draft prospect profile today, unfortunately. We really just want to do this exercise once, and hopefully the day before the draft comes, we can look back at this and laugh and be like, what in the hell were we thinking taking this player at this spot? Gabe Perreault at 9, Leslie. My goodness.
Yeah, you won't be laughing when he's averaging a hat trick in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we won't complain. Like, I'll take that.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, if he's taking at number 9, I'd be like, okay, sure, fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in the top 10 where you're picking, there's really no wrong choice. I think all the players that can go in the top 10 are all going to be top 6 players, top 4 D players. So there's no wrong choices. So it's going to be exciting, and it's a really exciting time to be a Detroit Red Wings fan, honestly. So let's go ahead and wrap it up there. Once again, just wanted to make the announcement that we will be going live tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on May 8th. So you will get to look at our beautiful faces for the second time this week. It's great. You're going to get it thrice times this week total. So let's go ahead and start off, closing off with the final thoughts. Leslie, you go first.
My final thoughts are Otto Stenberg is going to be picked at pick number 9, and he's going to be the next Elias Pettersson. And you're welcome, Hockey Town, for the next Elias Pettersson. And that's about it. We're going into the third period here with Leafs and Panthers, and I hope the Panthers just demolish them, and they can cash me a nice little check there. So, meow, meow, go. Meow.
Final thoughts, Derek.
That was beautiful. And I'll tell everybody right now, our mock draft will be completely wrong in just who's at the top. All hail Magic Conch. Red Wings are picking Bedard. That's all that matters. That's all we need to know. That 0.0 or 0.6% chance, that's us this year. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Red Wings.
And Zach, I know you always want a countdown until the lottery happens. We got less than 24 hours, baby. Less than 24 hours until our hearts are broken again.
We love it. We love to hear it. So, Derek, those were your final thoughts, huh?
Those are my beautiful final thoughts.
My name is Zach. These are my final thoughts. Go Kitty Cats. Panthers in 4. Leafs suck.
You heard it here first.
Good mock draft, boys. Honestly, that went really well. I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow. I had a dream when I took a nap today that we did get Adam Fantilli at number 2, so maybe I got the Magic Conch living inside my head. All hail Magic Conch. Go Red Wings. Hopefully we can win the lottery. Derek.
Let's go Kitty Cats. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone. Go Red Wings. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, May 8th.
Bye-bye.